Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from Breitbart News. NRCC announces third straight record-breaking fundraising month. That's the National Republican Congressional Committee. You see the picture here. Kevin McCarthy and Congress member Stefanik. Now, she has a district that's in the Adirondack area in upstate New York. I'm in District 22 by Claudia Tenney, which is right next to that. And I'm a big fan of Stefanik. I thought maybe they brought her up a little bit too high too soon because she's new, but I like her style. She's intelligent, articulate, doesn't put up with any bullshit. Very much like, I just left Tennessee. I was there for a week a few days ago. Very much like Senator Blackburn of Tennessee. Very little tolerance for bullshit, and I kind of like that. Anyway, I digress. Let's read on. Looking to win back the House in the midterm elections, the National Republican Congressional Committee announced their third straight record-breaking fundraising month. The House Republican campaign arm announced they raised over $14 million in the month of May, as the committee is looking to regain the House by picking up at least 5 seats needed to be in the majority. That's tight. That's why they were pushing so hard and giving so much money to lawyers for court cases in the fiasco that was New York 22, now held by Claudia Tenney. She was beaten 2 years ago by Anthony Brindisi, and there's all kinds of chicanery. I shouldn't say chicanery. There was all kinds of, well, you got to be careful here on YouTube, questionable things concerning the mail-in ballots. See, the problem is we're in upstate New York, way upstate. SUNY Binghamton is here with thousands of New York City students that come up here. It's a good education for the money. And so they're smart enough to know I can get a good education for a lot less than a lot of the private Ivy League schools, so they come here. But the problem is they can vote here. And what they were doing with COVID, they were all down in New York, a lot of them, the vast majority, because the colleges were closed. They were down there physically, but they mailed in absentees up here to vote in New York 22. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's wrong. It's legal in New York State. I'm a big states' rights person, but this is the other side of the coin with states' rights. But I digress again, but that's the problem. The problem is the absentees. And it's really incredible. The committee is touting the fundraising ability, saying they have over $42.1 million cash on hand, which they claim is more than double what the committee had at the same time in the last cycle. Yeah, that's a big deal. In addition, the NRCC said they currently are debt-free. Also, another big deal. They owe nobody. Great. NRCC Representative Tom Emmer, Republican Minnesota, said in a statement, Americans are ready to do whatever is necessary to stop Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats' socialist agenda. Yeah, more like the progressive agenda, but they're all tied in. I mean, that's the thing. Pelosi's not a socialist. She's not a progressive either. They had a common enemy at the time called Donald Trump / the Republican Party. They did what they needed to do to win the election. I can't go into details here, of course, because this is YouTube and it'll be yanked, but we all know what happened. And they need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. Do Republicans have all the answers? Are they perfect? Hell no. But right now, the founders set up a system so one side doesn't go too far. And now there is no check and balance. And that is incredibly, incredibly dangerous, especially if Democrats are in control. Let's read on. Emmer added May's record-breaking fundraising numbers are just the latest indication the House Republicans are primed to retake the majority. Raised over $14 million in May, $41 million cash on hand, more than double, zero debt. All we need is 5 seats. Exactly right. And there's the House chamber with their sparse accommodations because of COVID. So ridiculous. The vast majority of them have all had their vaccinations. There's no call for any of this nonsense with masks. And I saw a press conference a few weeks ago with Ted Cruz, and he was speaking at the podium, and one of the people from the press corps was the guy that said, "Well, sir, would you put your mask on? I would feel more comfortable." He says, "Why? I've been vaccinated." "Well, I just feel more comfortable." He said, "Why?" "I've been vaccinated." "Well, just, basically he was saying emotionally for me, I feel more secure." I mean, Jesus, give me a break. You're a grown man, for Pete's sake, and a major reporter for a major media outlet. Oh, my God. Last month, the RNC also announced they brought in more than $11.2 million, touting as the best off-year April fundraising. Their Democrat counterpart has yet to announce their May fundraising figures. However, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee narrowly outraised the NRCC by $1 million in April. The DCCC reportedly raised $12.2 million, which they were touting as their largest April haul in history. At the time, members said momentum continues to build for Republicans to retake the House and fire Nancy Pelosi. In April, the NRCC has also affirmed how serious they are at gaining at least 5 seats by taking back the House in midterm elections. The committee has also transferred $2 million to the National Republican Redistricting Trust to help with a redistricting fight. Because that's what Democrats do when they don't get their way. They go to court. Now, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, and I'll tell you why. Is money everything in campaigns? No. You still have to have decent candidates. You still have to have a decent message. You still have to connect with people. But it is a big deal. It's like the old saying, money can't give you happiness. That's true. But it's not nothing either. You have to have the money. And they're doing very well, and they're keeping up with the Democrat counterparts. And I'm surprised the Democrats are keeping pace with them, honestly. After all the gaffes from our president and the vice president, her antics, which are cringeworthy to say the least and be kind, I think they see what's coming. And I think that's the panic in the Democrats right now. They know they're doomed, at least in this next term. They're going to lose the Senate. It's just a matter of by how much. My guess, honestly, is 53-47. I'm that optimistic. Then we have a couple of old school normal Democrats in there, at least one anyway. So that makes it 53.5, 46.5, if you want to count it that way. And I think they're going to take the House. They're down by 5 seats now to get the majority. They're going to take the House by 15, 18 seats, at least. May even be more. I remember the contract with America, those of us that are older, with Newt Gingrich, where they just wiped the Democrats off the face of the earth, that term. And I think the potential is there for that as well. So I'm very encouraged. I was a little down for a while. As long as we can, the Senate is the stopgap for the craziness that goes on. The founders are very smart in putting checks and balances in. The problem is that one party controls everything, and it's a whack job party. The progressive Democrats are just whack jobs, period. And the normal Democrats are just pretending to be progressive so they can keep their jobs and their money. Whatever happened to honor and integrity? But anyway, I digress again. I'm very encouraged by this fundraising amounts. Going to be interesting to see as the midterm elections start, the campaign cycle of it, the actual physical campaign of going out and talking to people. It's going to be interesting to see what Republican Congress people use President Trump to help raise money and campaign. I mean, the guy loves to campaign. I mean, those rallies were just historical. I mean, you never seen it like that since the 1920s. You never saw rallies like that ever. It was an amazing thing. And it was great television. It was great theater. So we're going to have to see. I'm very encouraged. And we're going to have to, hopefully they use the money wisely. Redistricting, it's not gerrymandering, it's redistricting. When you don't get your way on one political party, you call the other one gerrymandering. It's the way it is. You don't get your way in baseball, it was a bad call by the ump. It's just the way human beings are. And the Republicans say the same thing. The majority of states, I should say, are controlled by Republican legislatures. That's why H.R. 1 has to be defeated. The feds cannot take over the election regulations and laws over the states, and that's what they want. They want centralized power. I, as a conservative, want decentralized power. In fact, even Barack Obama said at one time, that's why I'm not too worried about being hacked as far as elections go, because it's so decentralized. The election process here in the United States is impossible to have that many hackers, have that many systems to change the result. But here we are a few years later, and now they're pushing for a centralized election system. Not a good idea for a lot of reasons. One, it goes against the Constitution, I believe. Federal government saying how the states run their elections. And two, it's just dangerous. It's just plain old dangerous. It makes a single party majority for generations. And every single time that has happened, it's always ended up in disaster. So I'm encouraged. A little bit of happy news here, and so we'll see how things go. We're just starting the war now, so to speak, and we're going to see how it turns out. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.